down, gonna spin right around, gonna praise your name forever. I'm gonna shout out loud, gonna deafen the crowd, gonna sing my praise to heaven. I'm gonna jump up and down, gonna spin right around, gonna praise your name forever. I'm gonna shout out loud, gonna deafen the crowd, gonna sing my praise to heaven. I will run this race and I will never stop. I follow Jesus till the day I drop. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. When you've got such a lot, when you've got not a lot, what? Be happy. I'm gonna jump up and down, gonna spin right around, gonna praise your name forever. I'm gonna shout out loud, gonna deafen the crowd, gonna send my praise to heaven. I'm gonna jump up and down, gonna spin right around, gonna praise your name forever. I'm gonna shout out loud, gonna deafen the crowd, gonna send my praise to heaven. I will run this race and I will never stop. I follow Jesus till the day I drop. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. When you've got such a lot, when you've got not a lot, what? Be happy. Such a lot, when you got not a lot, what? Be happy.
Here's another great story from the Bible. This story is also found in the book of Daniel. It's in chapter 3, verses 14 to 18. Now there were 3 young men, by the names of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Do you kids know anyone by those names? It's okay if you don't, I don't either. But this story was from a long time ago, about these 3 young men from Jerusalem. These 3 men were taken from Israel, where they were from, to live in a place called Babylon. The king there was named Nebuchadnezzar. Wow, that's a mouthful. Can you say that, Nebuchadnezzar? Well done. King Nebuchadnezzar had a statue made of himself, and it was built very, very tall. 90 feet tall. Wow. How tall is that? Let's see. Are any of you here 90 feet tall? No, I didn't think so, but that would be like stacking about 10 to 12 of you on top of each other. Then, King Nebuchadnezzar called all the people to see the statue. Then he told them, they all must bow and worship the statue. He told them, that all races, languages, and religions had to obey by his orders. Only King Nebuchadnezzar could be worshipped, was the rule. The king was very proud. He wanted them to make loud worship to make him seem even more important. The rulers also told the crowd, that the king's rule was that if anyone refused, they would be thrown into a fiery furnace. Immediately, scared of being thrown into the fiery furnace, the sound of instruments declared it was time to bow. And they all did. Keep in mind, they didn't bow because they liked the king. It was because they were afraid. But 3 men did not bow. Those 3 men were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They would not bow, because they would only worship their God. They know that God's law says not to bow to any other gods. By bowing to King Nebuchadnezzar, they'd be breaking God's law. King Nebuchadnezzar was angry. I made my rule clear. You must bow, or die in the fiery furnace, said the king. But Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego stood their ground. We worship our God only, they said. The king was not happy, but they said, the God we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your bullying. But, even if God does not rescue us, we trust and worship him alone. Not you or any other king, they said. The king was furious. He was so mad, that he ordered the furnace to be made 7 times hotter than normal. He made it super, super hot. King Nebuchadnezzar was sure this would be a great revenge and would also make sure others would fear him and do what he ordered. Then the king ordered the 3 men to be tied up and thrown into the fiery furnace. Now, with the 3 men thrown into the hot furnace, King Nebuchadnezzar thought he'd won. That will keep them quiet and the rest of these people worshipping me. I win, he thought. The fire was so hot, that it killed the soldiers who threw them in. Not long after, the king, who was watching proudly, suddenly asked, Didn't we throw 3 men in? The other said, Yes, you did. But that's not what they saw. Now there were 4 men in the fire. The ropes and stuff that tied up the men were gone and they were walking around in the fire without any burns. And they had company with them. It's their God, he's in there protecting them, declared King Nebuchadnezzar. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, come out of there. When the 3 men stepped out of the raging furnace, everyone saw that they had not been burned. Not even a little. They didn't even smell like smoke. Obviously fire is very dangerous. We learned that with learning a bit about what firemen do, but these men were not hurt at all. God had been in the fire with them, keeping them safe. They did not fear what King Nebuchadnezzar was going to do. They believed with all of their hearts that God would keep them safe. And he did. The wise men who watched were shocked. Immediately, King Nebuchadnezzar recognized that the one true God was the one who was in the fire with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Then he bowed before their God in worship. Then the king made a new rule. That all should not be against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. For if you do, you'll be in trouble, declared the king. Then the king appointed the 3 young men to work for him and guide him. He saw that their God was able to save them from a fire. He wanted to know more about this amazing God.